Hi, I'm John K. Addis, this year's president of the Mid-Michigan Creative Alliance. The MMCA is part of District 6 of the American Advertising Federation, AAF, the largest and oldest advertising trade association in the United States. As you're undoubtedly aware, the AAF puts on our industry's largest annual competition, the American Advertising Awards, formerly known as the Addies. This competition attracts over 35,000 entries every year across over 140 local AAF affiliate chapters like ours. As part of your membership dues, the MMCA pays all entry fees for our local Gold Award winners to advance to the next stage of the competition, the Regional Awards. You also have the option to personally pay to have any local Silver Award winners forwarded to regionals as well, as long as you let us know by March 1st. American Advertising Award judges score each entry objectively and individually, and do not consult with their fellow judges while making their decisions. All scores are tabulated, and only scores numerically ranking above predetermined thresholds receive bronze, silver, or gold awards. This means that some categories may have multiple golds awarded, and other categories may have no awards given at all. Since agencies and individuals only submit their very best work to be judged, all of the work reviewed by the judges represents the best our region has to offer. That's why a gold award is so significant, as it represents the very best of the very best. Indeed, only the top 18% of all entries earned a gold award this year. Usually a multi-hour awards ceremony will show the top award-winning work on screen during a PowerPoint-style presentation. But since few people would want to stare at an online presentation for hours after work to see all the winning entries presented, we will instead be placing all award winners on a website for your perusal. We also compiled this short video, which presents the top 10 highest scoring entries in both the student and professional categories. This will be followed by the Judges' Choice Awards for both students and professionals, and then 2 Best in Show Awards. The Best in Show Awards, one for students and one for professionals, are chosen collectively by the judges, and are not necessarily the top scoring entry in their respective top 10 countdowns, so it's worth sticking around until the end. Finally, I'd like to add that the Mid-Michigan Creative Alliance is not just about these yearly awards. Our local organization is actually the oldest chapter of AAF in the state, and represents all creative disciplines in the Lansing area, including advertising, design, marketing, media, and public relations. Our goal is to promote and foster a relationship between these disciplines, and to make connections with future creative talent in the area. Though many of you are familiar with some of our yearly events, like this one, and the Studio Crawl, our programming committee was actually developing a wide range of additional activities for 2020 before COVID shut down our plans. Since the world won't be back to normal for a little longer, we are researching and planning virtual and possible outdoor events for MMCA members throughout 2021. So keep your membership active, continue to follow our social media, and please share your thoughts and ideas on what kinds of events, fun, productive, or both, you'd like to see us try this year. We're going to start now with the countdowns of the top 10 student and top 10 professional award winners of 2021. But first, let's meet the judges.
James Thigpen Jr. is an American contemporary artist whose work explores the multifaceted experience of Black culture. He completed his undergraduate studies at Mott College and University of Michigan-Flint. During those years, he received faculty recognition as a standout student in his class, gaining 2 American Advertising Awards as a student and 1 Gold Award in the professional category. In 2017, James independently created a partnership with Microsoft to produce his first digital art experience at their Fifth Avenue flagship store in Manhattan, demonstrating the significance technology has on art. Tom Flanagan is a creative director at FCB Chicago, where he has worked on brands like SC Johnson, Bud Light, Coors, KFC, Kmart, Cox, Valspar, Radio Flyer, GE, and Illinois Council Against Handgun Violence. He came to advertising from the Chicago sketch comedy scene. He performed at the Second City ETC stage and worked as a writer for Saturday Night Live. Advertising honors for his film, radio, and print work include Cannes Silver and Bronze, D&AD Wood Pencil, One Show, Clio Gold, and a Grand Clio for sports advertising for Archer's biggest sports endorsement ever. Jacob Rosenberg is currently working as an Associate Creative Director of Design for Commonwealth McCann. He got his design itch back in college at Northern Michigan University, where he graduated with a BFA of Design Communication in 2009. Since then, he has worked on gig posters, brand identities, illustrations, icons, and even a NASCAR livery or two. With that work, he has been able to win a few awards from Communication Arts, Epica, LIA, and shortlisting at the Clios. Check out his work at jacobrosenberg.com. Nikki Condon is a VP ACD at Kramer Kraslet in Chicago, working on Corona and helping to lead brands like Tropicana, Naked Juice, and Team Marzetti. Her 15 years of award-winning expertise have led her through a myriad of clients, from anti-tobacco to lottery, insurance, home goods, fast food, and more CPG brands than you can count on both hands. She's relaunched brands like Keebler and Special K, thrown headline-making events for both Brown-Forman Spirits and P&G, broken into emerging tech for Campbell's, shot improv with comedy legend Christopher Guest, and taken Esurance to the Super Bowl.
There's no question our world faces serious obstacles when it comes to building a more sustainable future. But for those of us who live the mantra, go green, go white, those obstacles have become a readily accepted challenge dating back as far as we can remember. Perhaps one of the longest standing sustainability initiatives at MSU is the RISE program. Located in Bailey Hall, this living learning program brings together undergrads from various majors with a focus on sustainability and environmental stewardship. These students study how to reduce food waste, decrease energy and water consumption, and eliminate solid waste to the landfill. Another sustainability effort at MSU is RHS's Pack Up Pitch In initiative, a program created in 1997 to divert students' unwanted items from landfills and provide a way for them to properly recycle or repurpose materials. Over 6,500 pounds of food are donated annually from students getting ready to leave their residential buildings.
You can give a child a gift they may not even remember, or you could give them an education that they'll never forget. This holiday, give college credits for their future with Met. Start saving today at setwithmet.com.
Our current prosecutor chose to charge a 10-year-old boy with assault and battery because he hit somebody with a stick. You have to make a choice about whether you're going to sit and watch what plays out every single day that's full of hate and injustice, or are you going to actually try to do something about it?
I've spent my whole life fighting for kids. From the minute I stepped into the classroom until I was seated in the courtroom. As a teacher, I saw how important a good education was and what a difference it could make in a child's life. But kids need more than teachers that care. Having my own children opened my eyes to what it's like being a mom, what it's like to worry about your kids' safety, about their future. I wanted to build that better future. So I decided to go to law school and serve as a prosecutor.
When I was a 29-year-old kid, I got elected to the United States Senate out of nowhere on November the 7th. And I was down in Washington hiring my staff, and I got a phone call. Someone walking up to me. You just knew, didn't you? You just felt it in your bones. And I knew. I don't know how I knew. But the call said that my family had been in an accident. My wife was dead. My daughter was dead. And I wasn't sure how my sons were going to make it. So many people who had losses as severe or worse than mine and didn't have the incredible support I have. I have such an incredible family. The loss is serious and it's consequential, but there's so many other people going through this. Think of all the people you know who are going through horrible things, and they get up every morning and they put one foot in front of the other.
For my judge's choice in the student competition, I chose the project What's Your Worth? Partially because I've always had an interest in how activism influences design, creates interruptive typography, unexpected compositions. I think I probably have some of it right here. But I also chose this because activism has demanded such a bigger stage lately. And in this avenue, this project found a really interesting way to dramatize the communal nature of activism, turning it into a shareable conversation. Having the messaging be on the dollar is such an interesting way to initiate a discussion about human values, about our individual beliefs. So to me, this project aimed to start a dialogue, which is a very powerful step, as we know, in what moves an idea forward. Its scope was big, execution was great, the individual pieces were beautiful, and the photography backed it all up. So, congratulations.
Have you ever wondered why some people drink pop, some people drink soda, some people drink soda pop, and the others drink Coke or tonic? I'm Suzanne Evans-Wagner, and I'm an associate professor of linguistics at Michigan State University. And I'm particularly interested in how languages change over time, including back in a time when people did not travel around as much as they do now. And even today, although we have mass transit and the internet, people on the East Coast continue to sound different from people on the West Coast because it takes time for that convergence to happen, and because people on the East Coast continue to not actually want to sound like people on the West Coast. It's partly to do with their identity and how they feel about it. Our analyses are really about figuring out not just how did the person say a word, but can we figure out why they said it? Why did they choose it? Why did they choose to say it in that exact way and not some other equally possible way? We all have different ways of talking depending on who we're talking to or what we're talking about. Any way we can close social distance, we'll do it. And adapting the way that we talk to someone else's way of talking is one of the ways that you can do that. The way you talk reflects who you are or who you want to be and who you spend time with that you care about.
I've lived in Mount Vernon, Iowa my entire life. My husband and I raised our 3 kids here. He took over his family's farm, and I was a registered nurse. Since COVID began, we have been staying home. So we have relied on mail order for our medications. I noticed the Postal Service has gone haywire, though. What happens if our medication shows up late? Did Donald Trump forget about us?
My judge's choice is going out to the 12 Days of Empowerment. Firstly, for having the guts to share your platform, but also for the execution. The illustrations were all breakthrough, very unique. The individuals you chose to feature throughout were incredibly well thought out. And follow through is easy. From a user experience standpoint, incredibly light to engage with. I think we've all seen similar concepts, maybe, where someone might delve into historical figures or tout famous faces. But here the North Star was rested so firmly to focus on living people, real issues, and potentially controversial subject matter. When an idea like this is done really well, like it was done here with the 12 Days of Empowerment, it just kind of sings. I think people couldn't help but take notice of an activation like this.
Think of all the people you know who are going through horrible things, and they get up every morning and they put one foot in front of the other. The best way to bear loss and pain is to turn that anger and anguish into purpose. I know so many Americans are suffering loss of a loved one, suffering economic hardship. The country is crying out for leadership. Leadership that can unite us, leadership that brings us together, leadership that can recognize pain and deep grief of communities, but it begins with healthcare. Healthcare should be a right, not a privilege. The quickest route to universal coverage in this country is to expand on Obamacare. We could do it, we should do it. But this president, even now, in the midst of a public health crisis with massive unemployment, as well, wants to destroy it. But I promise you this, I won't traffic in fear and division. I won't fan the flames of hate. I'll seek to heal the racial wounds that have long plagued our country, not use them for political gain. It's been our purpose from the very beginning to become a nation where all men and women are not only created equal, but they're treated equally. For that's what the presidency is, the duty to care for all of us, not just those who vote for us, but all of us.
Thank you for attending our first and hopefully only virtual American Advertising Awards celebration. Please stick around and continue to mingle, talk with some of us on the MMCA board, and get involved if you want to see our efforts to promote collaboration and creativity continue for years to come. And if you want to help plan future events, you don't even have to be a board member to join one of our committees. Just let us know you're interested, and we'll put your ideas to work. Till next year, congratulations again to all the winners. Thanks to our amazing board of volunteers, and stay safe out there.